Mike McDaniel doesn't walk into a room like he owns it. He walks in like he already knows what's going to happen next. And maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe that quiet confidence, that understated swagger, that analytical mind that everyone praises, maybe all of it hides a truth nobody wants to talk about. That the Miami Dolphins, under his command, have become something dangerously familiar. A team that talks about promise more than it delivers results. People love a thinker. They love someone who disrupts the norm, challenges the system, flips the script. And McDaniel? He's got that image locked down. He's the opposite of the grizzled old coach. He's cerebral, calculated, composed. But in this league, in this city, where pressure comes not in waves but in hurricanes, is that enough? Let's be honest. There's a storm coming, and it's not from the weather. It's from within, from a franchise that keeps brushing up against greatness without ever grabbing hold of it, from a fan base that's tired of the word potential, from a locker room that probably feels the cracks starting to form beneath their feet, even if nobody's saying it out loud. Look at the record. Look at the finishes. Not the highlights, not the explosive first halves, not the post-game interviews filled with silver linings. Look at the games that mattered most when everything was on the line. What happened? Collapse. Confusion. And McDaniel, standing on the sideline, eyes hidden behind those shades, calm as always. Too calm. That's the thing. People confuse calm with control. But calm without control? That's just stillness. That's stagnation. That's being stuck. And this team, this whole operation, it feels stuck in that space between ambition and execution. Right on the edge. Close enough to see it. Never close enough to touch it. You watch a Dolphins game, and there are moments, entire quarters even, where it feels like something is about to break open. A rhythm starts. The offense hums. The defense tightens. There's movement, purpose, life. And then, gone. Disappeared. As if someone pulled a plug no one knew existed. How does that keep happening? How do they keep fading at the worst possible times? There are no easy answers. But here's a hard truth. In the NFL, identity is everything. And this team, despite all its noise and flash and speed, still doesn't have one. And whose job is that to fix? It's McDaniel's. Because no matter how many trick plays get dialed up, no matter how innovative the offense is, no matter how many clever one-liners show up in press conferences, none of it matters if the team doesn't know who it is when things start to go wrong. Especially then. And they have gone wrong. Over and over again. In big moments. Against big teams. With big expectations. And maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't the injuries or the matchups or the referees. Maybe the problem is foundational. Maybe the problem is that this team reflects the very thing that makes McDaniel so intriguing. They're smart, creative, and complex, but not built to fight. Not yet. You can feel it in the losses. Not just the disappointment, the confusion, the way the energy fades instead of hardening, the way the sideline goes quiet instead of rallying. That's culture. That's what separates contenders from teams that are just entertaining to watch. And again, who builds culture? McDaniel does. Or he's supposed to. This isn't about benching a player or calling a different formation. It's about leading. About knowing when to be flexible and when to draw a line. About holding people accountable, not just publicly, not just with media soundbites, but in the film room, in practice, behind closed doors. And you start to wonder, does he do that? Does he lead that way? Or is he still learning how? Because you don't get 5, 6, 7 years to figure it out in this league. Not in Miami. Not with this roster. Not when your quarterback, your wide receivers, your defense are all peaking. Or supposed to be. The window isn't open forever. And when it slams shut, it doesn't warn you. So the next season? It's not a season. It's a verdict. If things go right, if the team finally finds that second gear and sustains it, McDaniel becomes the coach everyone thought he could be. The one who took a struggling franchise and redefined it. The guy who proved you could win without screaming, without being old school, without compromising who you are. But if it doesn't, if it's more of the same, if it's another December fade, another quiet playoff exit, another offseason of asking what went wrong, then it won't matter how clever or kind or thoughtful he is. It won't matter how likable he is. Because all people will see is another coach who couldn't get Miami over the hump. And maybe that's unfair. Maybe he inherited too much dysfunction. Maybe he's done more right than wrong. Maybe. But the league doesn't reward maybe. It rewards results. It rewards wins. It rewards rings. And McDaniel hasn't delivered those. Not yet. So now what?